coming into the
Alright.
matchup, right into Villa. Really excited for this. Ban phase. What do you predict here?
Oh, like I said off the beginning, Rome denial. Rome denial should be where they opt towards, but hard breach is where you would understand to see majority of their bans as well. So to see them slip in a Rome denial, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like obviously I'd be expecting it, but a lot of people do opt towards the double hard breach Thatcher and or Ace / Maverick. But this map, you don't really see too much of a Maverick selection when it comes to a ban. But Thatcher's gonna be coming out. That's the first one. I don't think I've only seen one game in this league without a Thatcher ban, I'm pretty sure, and it was with I think it was with H, the big H or whatever his name is. I forgot his name.
Mystic bans at 60% of the time, and ID Pioneers bans at 80% of the time. So I mean, it's a go-to ban. You're going to see that ban, statistically speaking. So obviously, Mystic gets the next set of bans. An Ace ban coming through. That's actually kind of shocking for them. We have not yet seen them ban out, as far as I'm aware, Ace inside this league yet so far, but that's interesting because there's no Rome denial. That's not a Nomad. That's not a Gridlock being banned out. It's not a Iana. It's not a Zero. Whatever. How many people you want to classify as Rome denial? We're not seeing that. So maybe they maybe they just don't care. I mean, it is Mystic's ban. Maybe ID Pioneer screwed up by banning Thatcher first. They should have just forced the ban already.
Yeah, well, as it's interesting because that next ban, the Ace, did come from Pioneer. I'd expect, because I was going to say maybe Pioneer banned Thatcher first because that's the go-to ban to start off as an attacking ban, and then the other one goes to the Rome denial. And if Mystic was to be that one, I'd understand it maybe, but at this point, it's Pioneer doing it. They're doing it to themselves. They're not countering the aggressive play. And it's just, I guess they need them. So at this point, they should be saying, okay, we need this. We cannot ban this. We got to bring them. And now I'm expecting them to have that on their selection on the attacking side. But they did bring out the intel ban coming from the Valkyrie, and that's entirely understandable. This map can be an issue if you do not have eyes all around the place. And then the Mira, what can I say? Mira is an obvious ban. It's the same thing of me saying, why are they banning Thatcher? I don't need to explain that to you.
Yeah. And a little bit more in depth of a look when you take a look at the bans that are preferred from both these sides. Valkyrie's 80% for both. I mean, that's just such a guarantee stat line, just through and through. There's going to be nothing else that's going to be happening besides that. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not the Mira ban that came through that was actually Pioneers' choice and not Mystic's, because Mystic actually bans Mira and Pioneers typically choose to go for Kaid instead. And so add it to the stat line. A new different thing for them to go through. Mystics, threw it out on the attack and banned Ace instead. And now we're seeing it go both directions. Both are picking up and doing something new. But I'm really excited. We're jumping right into it. Obviously starting off in Aviation in games inside of the southern side of Villa. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Pioneers are actually able to deny that extended northern hold that they have to hold if they want to stop Mystic whatsoever, because a single 2-player, even 3-player push that will come through from that master bedroom side could entirely devastate Pioneers if they're not able to get 1 or 2 early picks to slow down that push.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because you expect, like I said, this map can be very roam heavy, and coming from a map coming from a team like Mystic, you expect the fact that they probably wouldn't be bringing some sort of flank because they show that aggression and they take sight and take area control really quickly. There's going to be one defender sitting in that room, and they are ready and prepared for the first push to come through on the master side. The drones come through. They are consistent with their intel as well. So they're going to be getting that intel and see pre-fires going out there, making sure they do not waste any time and make sure that that pressure is being applied. Pings going out. Yeah, see, Rican, they know that they need to take a step back, because if they're there any longer, they're probably going to be losing a life. And it's pretty much inevitable if so, because they are consistent with how they clear their rooms.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. And right now, at this point in time, Mystic has information. They've got utility. They've got a very swift step forward. I mean, Pioneers are doing their best to stay alive, and they're doing a good job of that. You can see the player sitting at the bottom of stairs there. Revive's going to toss the Nitro Settler, attempting to find the player off, but can't yet connect with it. So a ripped and dipped, now dipped out from the count. No Nitro Cell available in the pockets. And Mystic are getting away scot-free without taking much of a deficit in the process of doing so, really actually getting a plus out of it. Now have a way to look below and also have wasted out a massive boon of utility. But already a push coming in from this landing door leading into Aviation. Mystic have sightlines. Pioneers have gotten caught off guard. They weren't able to get a single pick on their extended roam. They haven't been able to get a single pick off of holding the long side of this northern side of building, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop Mystic from stepping up. Too much utility is still available in their pockets.
Yeah, and it's just that awareness that they know that they play that, well, the aggro game. So they need to show that they know that they're completely aware of it, and they need to take a step back and start pushing from it. And that's huge right there. That's going to be Eddie off the board. That is that intel off the board already, and that's going to be a fragger off the board. So that is going to be Winded picking up that kill. Asia's going to be coming up right behind with the trade onto Rican. Not as impactful, but a kill nonetheless. Need going out and pushing straight on the site and committing straight away to the plant. You can tell Kix is there for the support, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. And the plant seems to be successful, taking care of the Nitro Cell in the process. Asian is going on a tear right now, picking up 2 kills for themselves, and 3 other defenders on site to try to flush out these attackers to take care of that diffuser. Angles are going to be opened up. Revive finds another one onto Asian, ending his tear, and Revive gets a kill in return. Silent and Gunn are going to be finding 2 kills onto Winded as well, and that's that Ulda out of the way, and Wonder's going to be that last line of defense to try to make something of this round. Not aware that 2 attackers are on the other side of the room, and that's going to be the reason why he loses Kicks. It's going to be the one to end off that round.
What a devastating... Did we just see a 360? Did we just... Was that what we just
I'll just pay attention to that. That's great.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Actually, no, that is a really good round for Mystic. Obviously, I mean, they looked really good right there. They took the round in stride. They had so many people remaining. A couple refrags were able to come through from Pioneers, but it just wasn't enough to give themselves any chance to hold that round. So instead, they're not going to go back to the same objective, which I'm not a fan of. They're going to be heading to Trophy and Statuary. A smart decision. They can play this one a little bit differently, but they still got to hold Master Bedroom, and they didn't do that the last time around. And this one is a little bit more important. I mean, obviously, it's the room directly connected to the objective of Statuary, so it's going to be a toss-up, to say the least. If they continue to waste Nitro Cells, and they continue to not find impact with them, like we saw one tossed and waste from below Astronomy, one tossed and shot out of the air trying to get one from the inside of Aviation over to Games, if they're not able to actually find impact with these Nitros to get an early pick, or even just a late pick, just get a pick in general, I guess is the term I'm coming up with, then it's a failure. They've got to change something, and this is the exact opposite of what we want to see from Pioneers if they want to stand a chance against Mystic.
Yeah, and it's also they're aware of the fact that they have that aggression, and if they do have someone downstairs without any support and try to connect with that Nitro Cell, the attacking side is going to be clearing downstairs first. They know what they should be doing. They know what is a threat when it comes to trying to take that site. They know where they should be taking care of operators and where they should be focusing their pushes on, and I'm hopeful that that was just an accidental skin or something like that for that TK.
Probably.
I'm going to take a guess, but judging on the dead body of Womai, I don't think that... I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to make assumptions right now that it was entirely on purpose and intentional. But back to what I was saying, I guess. I hate to get cut off by stuff like that because you're not really expecting it, but yeah, just going right back into it. They're aware that they need to push that downstairs first, and that's probably where they're going to be starting.
Yeah, and time's not going to be on their side right now. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be 6 people on your side for defenders because you're supposed to have Father Time working for you, but it's just a polar opposite right now. It's not working out. They're not finding any level of success because of it, and on top of that, they had to TK for a possible skin infraction. That's really unfortunate. And a Wamai is the worst one. You can't place down your utility and then shoot your teammate to kind of get away with it. No, that's utility that takes time. Those magnets have to charge up, and losing that extremely early is massively negative towards your side. But already Wonder Woman sitting inside a trophy room trying to maybe survive some gunfire, but it's not going to matter for Anti, who's taken out from Gunner. A 5v3 now in play. We're only a minute and 40 seconds of the round, and we're already having to see Toxic Babes get tossed out to try and relegate Mystic away from their ability to step forward. I don't think it's necessarily going to matter. Winded's in a bad position. Knows they're going to snap in towards Statuary. Does get one kill onto Asia. Now a 4v3 set up, and Revive able to find their own onto Gunner, but Silent is deadly, finds Winded, and Kix takes out Revive. It's just Wonder once again, wondering what happened to their team, and now wondering what just happened to them. Silent's able to clean it up, and Mystic will take yet another round back-to-back.
Yeah, that was kind of expected. They play that aggressive play once they noticed that they had the man advantage to start, and then they picked up another kill really early on. They knew that they could just push into sight without much of an issue. If they get that intel through, if they have basic awareness of where these operators should be holding in their current position, then they know where to peak, they know where to pre-fire, they know if they should be winning their gunfights, and they know they know their matchups. So it's entirely understandable that they did show that aggression right there at compared to the rest of their play. The aggression should be coming out right there, and that's where I expect it to come out of. And they left smoke to be the last remaining operator sitting within trophy, because that is going to be a lot of time wasted if you do manage to have that focus and sticking to that focus around the trophy doorway. So you got to push everywhere else, kind of just flush every other one of their teammates out, and then had that last line of defense be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you really do need a last line of defense. And unfortunately for you, that last line of defense ended up being Wonder once again. And you kind of left it into a dire straits. You were not in a good position to play that. In fact, it was so lopsided, I guess you could say, that Wonder was forced to fight into, what, a 1v3, 1v4 once again? I mean, not what you want to be. And Mystic has done such a good job of finding opening picks. Obviously, they didn't necessarily find the opening pick. I actually think it was Rican who found the opening pick onto the Womai player, but it doesn't super matter. I know, it was Rican who was dead. Sorry, I think my brain is a little bit stupid. Who wasn't that John Regan?
It was Malusi that was dead.
Okay,
and I think it was, yeah, but it was Anti that died as the Malusi first.
Really? Okay, well, the picks come through. I usually have, like, fellow to write down notes, so I'm not telling you to write down notes because I barely do it ever as well, but I typically remember that. I was kind of shocked I didn't realize who had killed it. It was just kind of still, I guess I was still starstruck about it, but having that first pick go in favor of Mystic despite them not getting the pick, it's just pouring more water into a filled bucket, right? Pioneers just saying, hey, this bucket may be filled, but here's another gallon, right? They're just saying, here's a gift. Nicely wrapped up and handed off to you. It's Christmas Day for Mystic, and they're definitely opening their presents, and they're just going to more houses and more trees because each of these rounds is a completely new Christmas festival for them.
Yeah, 100%. And they kind of just find themselves in a position to succeed every single time. And it's been flawless for them so far. It's been heavily stacked against the defenders because, oh, Rican had to get TK'd because of his skin. Okay, now that's going to be a huge advantage for the attacking side. Mystic is nothing but happy for that type of situation, coming right into an easy win. And the first one was just a very aggressive play. When it came to pushing that Aviator side, actually, funny enough, it was pretty open. I'm pretty sure when the intel went through, they were just like, this is an open push. We can just take a defuse, and then they obviously had the trust in their teammates around the study side. And, ooh, Silent already picking up a kill onto Revive with only 1:45 left, and they're not going to be stopping whatsoever once they get that Ayana drone in and ready to try to give out those calls for the remainder of the attacking side, and it should be an easy sweep once again, depending on how aggressive they play.
Yeah, it's definitely looking to be that, but Regan's having something to say about it. Does manage to find Aegean, but Silence finding two back-to-back for the 3K. Finds Regan on a refrag and takes Winded out as well. Now just Wonder and Anti left, and it doesn't seem to bode too well. Kicks will start to plant the diffuser. There is no nitro cells to deny. Anti has already tossed and relegated it out for the count. And there comes Silent finding the quad kill. Could go for the ace. Knows they're over here. Doesn't have an exact, but they're hunting, prowling, I guess you could say, now looking from behind. He's trusting his teammates to watch the stairwell, and that's exactly what happens. Eddie steps up and finds the kill, and Mystic will find yet another round. Round 3, back-to-back-to-back. Our league owner, I guess you could say, of Tofu, stated that it's strange that Mystic pick attack on every single map for every single thing, whether it be overtime or just in general. And I told him it's old aggro. It should be pretty obvious why they picked attack. They're basically just TDM, and that's exactly what we're seeing. They're stepping up. I mean, you see them plant, but honestly, when does the plant even matter? They're just killing everyone before it would even make a point. I mean, what do you expect?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And when it came to that play right there, I liked how Silent just pushed in, and obviously they wanted that ace, because they obviously have trust in Silent, because Silent can actually perform to that ability to be able to just run in and pick up kill for kill for kill. And I like the respect that they were showing. And once they noticed that the person on Astro was kind of falling back, they're just like, okay, we've had our fun. Let's just get this round win, move on to the next one. They're not here to show off. They're not here to grab that ace, because they totally could have just left it in the hands of Silent. And Silent probably could have won that gunfight 100%. Could have ran downstairs, played that aggression, and then just took the kill without any problem whatsoever. But they're like, okay, let's just move on. This is taking a little bit too long. we got stuff to do after this. Let's just get going. Let's get to Oregon and just clean this up, because Mystic, they play for those round wins. They don't play for a show off.
Yeah, an interesting decision here, Car. I'm always of the opinion that I love this objective. It's so reminiscent of older style points for pre-rework maps. You're used to seeing castles, you're used to seeing, Jaegers, that's normal, mute jammers, a lot of nitro cells, pulses. We're not seeing that from Pioneers right now. No, we've got a Malusi, an offsite presence. We've got Riken is going to do the same thing as a Mozzie. You know, be a little bit more of a pest away from sight than necessarily on it. You've got Wonder Woman who's still on the mute. You're going to still be seeing them holding out with that SMG and shotgun combo. And then instead of castle barricades, you're seeing a Rooney Surya gates. So it's interesting, but I don't necessarily think that's the point of this objective. You need to cut off sight lines. It's not necessarily just there to slow them down. It's really there to cut off sight lines and stop you from being shot through doorways. But it seems to be they planted the Surya gates upstairs in between bathroom and astronomy, and that is just to slow down. That one is not to cut off sight lines. That is a good position to slow down. So it's at least promising to see it's not placed in a position that a castle would go, and instead placed in more of a an apex aggressive position instead.
Yeah, and this site is a very, oh my gosh, Riken mid-fall taking Silent out, and I was expecting the Silent to pop off again, but he just said no to that and just took him off the board, and Asian was right behind him in that situation, and it's gonna be 2 entry frags off the board. That could be very dangerous, but like I was saying, this kitchen site is a pretty open site, so like you said, to cut off those angles is probably a very important decision to make, and that's why people really do bring those castles. But that's the thing, why people actually do roam off site as well. Like you mentioned, Riken is probably going to be that pest off site. We saw that right there, because since the angles are all open up, you got to be careful and just make sure they do not make their way into site to actually abuse those angles, and Riken has obviously been flawless in his role so far.
Yeah, and you're already seeing the holes being made in the floor. This is just doing exactly what you need to do. Gunner's fallen into that role pretty well.
Oh.
But unfortunately, they're going to be falling into the afterlife. Wonder finds yet another Nitro cell. I stated it, what, 2 rounds ago? They need to find impact with Nitros if they want to run around. They've gotten 2. They found 2 Nitro cell kills, and Riken was able to find their own, and they still have a Nitro in pocket. Eddie gets the first kill finally for Mystic's side, taking out Revive. And unfortunately, it's still a 2v4. You're still at a 2-player disadvantage. Kicks his drop down into Laundry, hoping to catch a couple players off guard, sees the feet of one player, but if the player in kitchen does peek them as well, swings and finds one into Winded, but damage does go the other way as Eddie is tagged back. Kicks, gets shot from above, Riken flanks, but Eddie did find Anti. It's now a 1v2, just Edda remaining for Mystic. Could this be Pioneer's first round win, or they unfortunately be felled once again in this massive underclass that we're seeing from Mystic? They have the opportunity. Eddie can play this out, uses the Gemini drone to great success. Will have to. The Mute Jammer will tag it out and make it, unfortunately, pretty much useless in that aspect. And this Wubwub Banshee will make it difficult as well to step forward. Audio Q has come through, has no clue where these last players are. Riken has unfortunately used their Nitro and wasted it out. Step has to come through. One's in Laundry, has to pick up Diffuser, no time in. A Banshee as well, and Wonder finds the shots with the SMG-11 behind kitchen counter, and Eddie is swimming with the fishes.
Yeah, I like how they had that setup go by. It could just been like a strat that they always have, because having that Mozzie mute combo is completely understandable. So to see them bring that and have it have such an impact on Eddie right there, because if Eddie could go through with that intel just for himself, because Ayana just thrives in that category, with those mute jammers in place, it completely cut off that opportunity for Eddie to actually come off with a win, because the crossfire that they had set up was pretty much an inevitable loss unless this man's flicks are on an absolute just on a different level, you know? So, but to see them set up like that is just, it was pretty much one of the reasons why they won that round. And then how they set up that play, they knew that Ayana was going to be playing that aggression. That operator is made for some sort of aggression, or primary weapon is obviously made for that, has an ACOG, and having an ACOG in that type of situation, the angles are opened up. You can't really contest that without a crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, all right, Carl, let's talk about positioning for crossfires, because that's a really interesting point I really want to bring up, because it's a pretty big spiel. Crossfires, when it comes to a very reminiscent, older style objective, it's interesting to see them sit behind kitchen counter as a crossfire, instead of maybe putting one towards stair hall, right? Towards the entry into kitchen. Usually you see one there. That's why you saw the nade get tossed. That's why you see them attempt to go for that. And it's also the reason why them being behind kitchen counters, the reason why we didn't see them die to the nade. So while their crossfire was interesting, it wasn't exactly what you're, I guess, interested in, not exactly what you're expectant. It works because Pioneers were able to spice it up enough to catch Mystic off guard, and they did that time after time. Finally finding impact with Nitro cells, and finally finding a round win.
Yeah, I think the main reason behind that, because it's all situational of why they make these decisions, and you look at that and you say the better crossfire probably would have been that rotate, and that's why you understand why Eddie threw that nade in that general direction, not just because it's a rotate and you expect someone to be there, but it's a crossfire and he was expecting a crossfire. So yeah, the play, it was well played by Eddie, but the setup and position behind the kitchen counter, I think, was because they still had the default cam set up in the hallway to the right-hand side of it. So if they noticed that a rotate wasn't to go through, they don't really need to sit back and hold that doorway, and the attention can be brought straight into the dining room.
Yeah, attention to detail.
Yeah.
I guess is really what it comes down to. I think Mystic does a good job of paying attention to details. Small things like audio cues or maybe just even a single footstep. They
Right.
typically snuff that out really well. You'll see it on constantly for players like Silent right now who are kind of doing roam clear. Kind of fulfilling a role that's interesting to see because they don't actually really have roam clear. I mean, you can say Eddie can do it with a Gemini Joan, but in all honesty, they're really just playing a super frag-centric lineup. They've got a Yana, they've got Ashe, they've got Habana, they've got the Zofia, they got Sledge. This is one of the most frag-centric styled lineups you're ever going to see in competitive R6. It really doesn't get much better than this in terms of that. I think maybe a Ying added into the mix instead of maybe
yeah,
Habana, but at the same time, that would kind of ruin your hard breach. You'd be stuck with a pocket hard breach instead, and you don't always want to see that. But nonetheless, Mystic, super frag-centric, attention to detail. They have to be detail-specific because if Pioneers get a single flank and do catch a player off guard, it puts Mystic in a bad position, and it really kind of makes it difficult for them to push up, and they're a little too reliant, I would say, on fragging instead of just relying on actual positioning and skills instead.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of fragging, the first kill being picked up on the Recon, and that's not going to be an ideal situation because that will mine off the board. No longer can really charge up those things. Oh, Revive is sadly going to be cut off and probably not going to be able to make it very far, but gets away with their life if they actually do play this correctly, and I think they're fully aware of it. The pre-fire probably should be coming out right about now. Oh my gosh, just dancing around the corner and manages to find the kill onto Gunner, and that's not going to be too... well, an optimal situation for the new player on Mystic, but coming down to the actual site right now, it does seem like they're going to be repeating history right now with that really quick defuse, but now a counter to it this time. He's just no longer going to be sticking it, and they're going to be waiting for that rotate to come up from Revive, but it's going to be expected to come from probably the trophy or statuary area, so their attention needs to be in that general area. Support coming from the study balcony, and Asian finally gets that plant down, it seems like, right there, committing to it, and the smoke canister is not going to go anywhere near it. Nitrocell being thrown, not going to be connecting either. Double kill from Silent, and Asia's going to be adding on to the fun as well. And that last one's going to be Wonder once again, but Silent is there for the cutoff flank, and Silent is still there, saying thank you in chat. Probably not too nice of a comment to really say, especially in a situation like that. They're already throwing in some toxicity, and I'm pretty sure they're just now getting off on that one round away from a round switch, so... well, hopefully they kind of clean up that attitude a little bit. We're going to have a nice and formal game right now. Let's try not to talk trash just yet.
I want to point this out. I think that consistently here, we're seeing opening kills go in favor of Mystic. I think they've had 3 of the opening kills so far. I think 2 of them have gone in favor of Pioneers. And those 2 that have gone in favor of Pioneers are Revive and Winded. And I think Winded team killed. So technically speaking, was it Winded team killed? Either way, we've seen them actually get opening picks. So it's an interesting thing to see that, statistically speaking, Mystic has been getting them by 1. But at the same time, Pioneers is not lacking it. They've also managed to get their own. They're just not getting the round wins. They're not finishing up the rounds. We even saw it when it came down to a 4v2. It immediately dropped down to a 2v1, and it was winnable. It definitely was. It was just interesting, cheeky positions from Pioneers that gave them that success. And by all accounts, that's a way to find success. There's nothing negative about that whatsoever, but Pioneers need more than cheeky angles and need more than miracle plays to be able to get a round win, and Mystic's just not letting that happen. They're not letting them find themselves a lucky play. They're not letting them find themselves an early pick that's going to actually be impactful, and they're kind of running away with the score because of that. A 4-1 on their attack is not a scoreline you want to have going into Villa.
Yeah, especially since they're starting off an attack, and Mystic being in a very aggro team probably should be thriving on defense, and that's not the position that you really want to have them have the advantage, considering that they haven't played a single defensive round yet. And the entire play when it comes to the Aviator side, their entire just decision making and just adaptation to how the defensive side's been playing is just clean. It's very, very clean because it's not flawless. I was about to say flawless because they do currently have 1 round on them, as the Pioneers have actually won 1 on them, but it's clean. So to the point where like we saw Revive try to get the run out last round when it came to the kitchen side of the building, and then right off the bat, Gunner noticed the issue, noticed where the flank was going to come from, and focused a very aggressive play on it. Sadly, did not come off with the actual kill, but oh, he's going to be finding a kill this round onto Ansi, and that actually might make up for it. But yeah, that kill that he couldn't find it, but they have an understanding of what they should be prioritizing.
And you've got to be able to prioritize the right things, and we're definitely not seeing that happen. We're not seeing the right priorities. Right there, you see 3 flash grenades thrown out after the first nade. You got to get those nades off and have them be in a safe position. Otherwise, you're going to be lacking a nade because it's going to get taken out. But Revive finds 1, immediately refrag as Gunner finds 2 into Winded and Rican. Asian finds Revive, and now a 4v1. Wonder steps into the bathroom and also will sleep at the bathroom floor like a drunkard. And after a night out, it's ended off pretty quickly. Mystic will clean off this half in a spectacular fashion, 5-1.
I feel bad, but I also kind of admire the fact that Wonder is the last reigning operator almost every single
time,
round.
without fail.
I mean, like, I don't want to say anything, like, it's not bad because obviously they're playing a role where they should be that last line of defense. They have smoke canisters that should be wasting that time. They have a very close range weapon as the Mossberg, and some people can argue that it is the sniper, but either way, it's made to be a close range shotgun. And the SMG-11, everything like that, that should be the final operator that you face. And obviously it's been working out pretty well, but it's the rest of the defenders that can't really stay alive for it.
Yeah, if you're unable to stay alive, then you're kind of leaving Wonder. I said this at the end of round 1, didn't I? Like, or round 2?
I think so.
Yeah, like you're leaving Wonder out for dust. You're leaving Wonder wondering where the hell their teammates went.
that's what the line was.
You're like, what the is going on? Like, you got no clue what's going on around them. They don't know what they have to do, and they're struggling because of it. Pioneers are just left out to dry because they can't find anything or stay alive long enough. We saw 2 people die in the exact same angle. The exact same one, where we see a player peek master bedroom, peek all the way over and shoot a player inside of trophy. And we saw that twice in the same exact round, back-to-back kills. You can't let that happen. You can't let that be a thing, and Mystic's just capitalizing off of it. They're punishing you. And it's not like a weird kind of punishment thing. No, they are like, okay, well, you might as well not be allowed to play the game. This is like an older brother holding the controller above your head saying, no, you can't even get it. Why would you be able to play? Right, this is bullying of an older style nature. They're just not letting Pioneers play their own game. Mystic is playing their own game, and Pioneers is forced to go along with it.
Yeah, I feel like to an extent I am watching a hint of a ranked game mode of how the aggression is really coming up. But that's the thing, though. It's not that, though, because of how consistent they are, and their decision-making is completely understandable and correct 100% of the time. It's just like some of the gunfights, they're not winning. So they show the aggression, but the reason they're showing this aggression is because they know what to expect. They know what to really play off of the intel that is given to them. Once they notice one person's position, they can pretty much predict the remainder of the play. See, right now, they are on defense right now. They can't really do it as the attackers this time, but when they were on attack, they did it almost like near flawless.
Yeah, flawless is just kind of the nature of the game. Gunner, okay. All right, all right. Somehow doesn't die to the player outside, but Rican still managing to find the kill nonetheless. Gunner says loser.
He's not too happy about that one.
They're not happy in the slightest, and they're going to even use their Gemini drone to remove out the Surya gate. Interesting to say the least, but this has been already Pioneers starting off strong. I mean, they had that player, they had Gunner dead to rights. Not a single chance they had anything they could do about it, and it just got punished. Nothing could happen. Mystic are I guess hurting. Not really. They're only a player down. And I think mostly it's just a mentality down right now because Gunner is just mauling in the chat.
Yeah, this kind of just goes back to my point of this being a ranked match. They're not like showing any respect for each other in the chat when something happens. At this point, I'm surprised no one's rage quit quite yet and leaving the rest of the operators just left in the dust for the remainder of the game. It's to the point to where I feel like I am watching a ranked match, but just at a very high level. I'm watching, well, they're ranked in champion, so I feel like I'm watching a champion ranked match. And it's just like, I wish there was, I mean, I enjoy it though. I'm not really going to go against it. It is pretty amusing to actually watch the interaction in chat right now, but Winded is obviously going to be adding on to a Wonder with a kill of their own onto Eddie and leaving it down to the 2 remaining defenders on site. And it seems like it's completely, they shifted the tides in the direction of Mystic right now, and they're giving a little taste of their own medicine with 5 remaining attackers, showing that they can frag above them and actually pick apart their play like it's nothing. This is what I like to see, and Kix is going to be up there ready to take that kill. Smoke canister in hand, doing that a little damage not only to the downed one, but to the person that tried to get the revive as well. Age is going to be adding on to it, taking down Winded, and actually staying alive for quite a bit of time here. 20 seconds counting down. They need to make a decision, and that Rooney Gate up right there could be this game change, but Anti's going to be taking down Kix, leaving it all in the hands of Asian. 25 seconds remain, or 25 HP and 8 seconds remaining. Plant going down, and I don't know if they're aware of it right now. Trying to put them into a position to just get a flick off, and right now this is where the crossfire comes out, and pretty much an inevitable loss for Asian with the 25 HP remaining, but he's open for those visuals to come through. The little aggression coming from that little opening in the hard breach. Gets the audio call from the left-hand side, has an understanding that they're right there, tries to get the gunfight off, but Revive is there for it and takes down Asian. Sadly, I'm pretty sure the reason why he lost that gunfight was that 25 HP as well.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, we didn't expect much after we saw it come down to a 1v3, right? But if there's a player who can pull it off, it's going to be a Mystic Squad player, right? Yeah. I mean, they're the most frag-centric style team. It's weird to say that. I mean, it really is, Car. I know that you haven't casted them as much, but like having been able to watch old Mystic and aggro for so long. Yeah, just having so much experience behind it and so much like just history, I guess. It's so weird to now say that it's Mystic that's this frag-centric TDM style and not aggro. It's such, you know, T3 R6 is wild and crazy. Anything can happen. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Anything can happen. But Mystic's such a frag-centric style. They lose their offsite player like Gunner really early on. They already put themselves in a position for, I guess, getting clapped, right? You're losing Gunner. You're losing a very important player, an offsite player, someone that's probably more strategically sound than the rest of your squad, just in terms of how old Mystic played, and that Gunner was a part of that. So it's interesting to say Mystic got clapped in that round, but that's exactly what happened. Pioneers just outplayed them. And maybe we're seeing an attacker-sided Villa. I mean, I may be speaking too soon, but we very well could be seeing an attacker-sided Villa.
You're definitely not right now. This is the perfect time to. It's a 5-2 right now, Mystic lead, and they currently just lost their first round on defense. Pioneer just took their first round on attack as a win, and I don't think you're going to be blamed for saying that this is an attacker-decided Villa right now. And I want to see the consistency there, but I also do want to see Mystic come out on top because their fragging ability is just above everyone else's right now on the enemy team. And I do want to see that consistency continue to be consistent when it comes to the fragging, pushing, the decision-making, and the team communication through the intel. And if it does stay the way it is right now, then I'm pretty sure they'll probably come out with a win, in my opinion. Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, sorry, I'm sorry. I mean, I have the 66%. Like,
are you really gonna hold your? Are you really gonna hold that above your head rate over me? Okay, all right. 6%
All right,
I'm gonna find something to hold over you. My voice is nice. Okay.
All right, listen here.
All right, sorry.
Are we gonna go back and forth about this right now? Don't make me bring up the Overwatch cast. All right.
That's true. I did say monkey zap gun. Okay, I'll bring it up myself. I'll call out my own mistakes. But hey, I'm a good Overwatch caster. I hold my own. We're working on Valorant too. I'm a pretty good Valorant caster. I know the name of grenades on Raze. It's paint shells. I said paint cans one time in my own university made fun of me for it. So I mean,
I was waiting for you to bring up our nice conversation last night.
Oh yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Where I can understand the difference between an AM and PM cast.
Yeah, you were. That was the most idiotic conversation I've tried to dredge through. Like you just were dead, man. I don't know what you went through, but it was like 16 pounds of, I guess, like whatever drug makes you slow in the brain. I don't know. Like it was something else entirely.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know why I'm kind of questioning my own knowledge of that, because I'm sitting here like I thought that you gamers would be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch a comp match. I don't think anyone would have that type of just time and energy to be able to like.
Do that.
Oh, do you guys remember that one joke scene from SpongeBob where it was Patrick saying, "Oh boy, 3 a.m. grabs a Krabby Patty and just ready to get to have his lunch or whatever." It was.
Water viewing.
I think we should just go back to the actual match right now.
Yeah, maybe a very nice early pick comes through. Gunner finds a nice nitrocell toss out from the bathroom wall that was opened up all the way through into closet window out onto the outside balcony, and it finds success pretty easily. Gunner's now rotated over to Statuary behind the actual A objective and behind the shield that they've placed. Trying to catch one player off guard, cannot get it done. Silent does take a lot of damage off of a nade, but now Toxic Babes are being tossed out and relegated, eaten by ADSs as well. And the Surya Gate is retossed, so now another bit of a time waster set up. Mystic have put themselves in a good chance of success, but Revive's got a nade below. Ooh. Tags Kicks! Kicks is now at about 9 HP, not looking so hot themselves. It's not boding well. Mystic have taken a lot of damage, but look at these cheeky angles. Silent lying down in trophy room behind the actual wardrobe. A bad position for Pioneers to have to deal with, but Asian has been taken out for the count by Wonder. A 3v4 now set in place with only 10 seconds left. Mystic, they can deny this. They're walking in sight. They find one, but they already lost one in return. No. 3-stepped in, and Pioneers will find the win. Wonder, Revive, and all the rest will find themselves around victory. 2 now back-to-back on their attack.
Oh, God, that was so painful to watch. Not the push, but the whole situation with Silent being in that corner. He showed the trigger discipline, which I could admire, and he was waiting for more people to come into his line of sight so we can get that little flick off. But right when he took care of the Zofia, the other operator went behind the bomb chassis, and then the third one followed up afterwards. Was not the best situation, but you have to give props to Silent for having that trigger discipline and sitting back, chilling out. And if he actually sat there and waited for like a plant to go down and wait for the push to actually completely go through and make them think that they are comfortable on site, and then denying the plant, having a potential jump off the balcony to his right and then playing the vertical if he still had the nitro cell in hand, that could have been huge, to be honest. Like, there's so many variables that could come into this game. You could say he could have done this, could have done that, but obviously they're in the situation where they can't really just think through and make this judgment call when they're mid gunfight. So yeah, it's funny to watch that situation. It could have had a lot of potential for an actual win, but I do want to comment. I don't want to talk. We were talking down about Silent a little bit, and then obviously give him a little 50-50. But Silent right now, he's sitting at a double digits right now, round 8, and Pioneers is currently on a comeback. So Silent could have a potential for having a very high kill game.
I mean, that's not too shocking for Mystic. It's not like the most shocking thing, but what is shocking is just Anti right now. It just really hasn't been able to find their stride. And the last few rounds have managed to find themselves too, and have put themselves a little bit on the board, but with 7 deaths behind them, they're going to need quite a few more if they want to even that back out. But I think Pioneers, they've started a roll. They've gotten themselves round after round now. They're only 2 behind Mystic. Mystic's wiggle room, as I like to call it, of where they can kind of make mistakes and still play fine, is getting wrapped around their throat right now. It is tightening. The noose is tightening, and they desperately need to get away from it. They have to get... I guess they have to get into a position of dominance like they had on their own attack. Whether that means they need to play safe into a different style, maybe play a little bit more strategically, or whether that means they need to play a little bit more frag-centric and actually have an off-site roam that's gunning instead of gathering information. Whatever needs to be done, it needs to be done, because Mystic are kind of on a downturn, and Pioneers are going to continue to roll with it, or should I say snowball, if they're not able to stop this.
Yeah, and you'd expect Mystic to actually continue. At least I've predicted. Oh no, God, come on! I'm trying to say that you guys should be playing well on defense, and then as soon as I'm about to say it, Rican just comes in and takes down Gunner, the man that we were like, okay, this person is the one that needs to show up as their first game with this team. And as the Pulse, I don't even think they used their nitro cell yet. That's a lot of utility off the board, and that kill is huge for an attacking side pick. And with Gunner being that person to do so, I'm just devastated. I was gonna say, as a defender on the defending side, Mystic should be thriving as that very aggro team and being able to communicate with their team and actually work around whatever play's been given to them. I'd expect them to play well on defense. They played well on attack, and that really goes to show why they selected to go attack first. But I want to see them start cleaning this up, because I'm really disappointed right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know what disappointment looks like. I mean, my dad's, you know.
Just stop.
no. It's funny.
My dad. All right, back to
yeah. I was storming the other day, so my mom was texting me. It was like in a group chat, and I was like, I can't respond, I'm working. And I was like, where? And I told him where. And he was like, oh, I can't confirm he's going. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, come on. But an interesting play has to come through. Pioneers already getting a first pick to Gunner once again. Oh. Now Eddie steps up, finds 2 through Master Bedroom. Cannot find the next inside of the Bath side, but now still has an angle to play. A level of dominance being shown. Took a lick of damage in the process, still sitting about 60 HP. Rican on the starting room steps knows there's a player inside of Trophy. A player behind swings and finds the kill. And Asians out for the count. A 3v3 in play with only 20 seconds now on the clock. They've got little wiggle room to work with. A rush does come through. Kicks will be felled by Rican as they get a 3K denied of a 4K from Eddie. It goes in the other direction from Revive. Now it's just silent. They'll need to be deadly. Much like, I'm not going to make that joke, they'll need to make their way to the objective. One player known. Plant does come through. Swings for the shot, but Anti finds it instead. And what a time for Anti to show up. Silent out for the count, and Pioneers still continuing their rampage.
See, I was gonna mention Eddie pulled up with that triple kill, which was impressive enough within itself, and Eddie obviously gave their part and they gave their effort, and you can't really go against, like, you cannot blame Eddie for dying in that situation because they had a huge impact in that end round scenario. But I was gonna say that Eddie really took that first step to be able to show that aggression and have, like, find a weakness in their play and take advantage of it. Eddie was that first person I feel has really taken a step in the right direction, and I thought that would be the huge game changer, that Eddie was the one to start a chain of events, like a domino effect of everyone else starting to pick up on that type of play, or at least as the roamers. And I thought Eddie was to be the one to actually do that, but sadly he could not stay alive for the end of it, and Silent was that last person to try to deal with the situation. In 1v2 scenario, odds were stacked against him in that situation, so you can't really say that he played it horribly. Anti obviously is a really good player. Anti obviously was the one to find the kill. I had to play the support on Revive, playing the Ionic, trying to get the plant down, and it was well played by the attacking side. Managed to actually pick up what kills they could and managed to get those refrags back and forth. So in that type of situation, Mystic played well, but Pioneers just played better.
Yeah, I think Pioneers is really coming into their own. I think that right now Mystic just don't have what they need to make it work. It really does feel like Gunner's getting caught off guard in a lot of these rounds. I think Gunner has been like the first death statistically in a lot of them. Yeah, Rican has found the first pick twice in these last 3 rounds onto Gunner. And Gunner was the first pick on a Rican. Why isn't Rican and Gunner back? The last 3 rounds have been Rican and Gunner just like every single time.
Back and forth.
This is something else to say the least. But immediate confrontation has been going up and Gunner's been involved in it every time. And that's not necessarily a good thing, because if Gunner loses that in a 50-50 gunfight, which has now apparently been a 33-66 gunfight, then it kind of sets Mystic up in a poor position, and already a fight tends to go forward. Rican's looking for an opening pick once again, trying to catch a player off guard. They're heading now down towards Central Stairs, going to be sitting on top, but they have to show a level of dominance, and Mystic, Asian specifically, will just take that step back and tend to play back out of the objective. Mystic have completely lost their offsite presence with only 45 seconds into this round.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some vibes from the Wichita and Depth game that I cast with Fellow just a bit ago, where right off the bat, the defenders in that situation with Wichita, it was the defenders that managed to bring it all the way to a 5-0. They had to get a rehost, and then the opposite team, once the side switched as the defenders, they went flawlessly all the way around, and then there was just one round I think they lost that brought it over to overtime. But I'm getting some vibes from that right now. Mystic was just one round away from sending it over to match point overtime, or just match point in general, and then here's Pioneers coming back with the exact same attitude. Anti's going to be dropped, though. That could be big, because Anti was showing that aggression last round, so someone has to now fill his shoes. So I think Asian was the person to actually deal with that situation and take care of Anti right off the bat. So now they need to start working around with the man advantage being in the hands of the defending side.
Yeah, and when you got a man advantage and you're actually able to get that first pick, it kind of sets up for success. But we've seen Pioneers come back from it already. It may be a little bit more difficult when Rican's out from an Nitrocell from Silence, so it bodes a little bit well. But Gunner's in a very, very aggressive position just outside of that bank door. Could be able to catch a player off guard, and it will happen to work. Gunner takes out Revive, a 5v2. Eddie's taking a look at damage as well, but Gunner swings back into Study, finds one into Winded, and finds the third! A flawless round for Mystic. Wondering where the hell they went wrong, and it all goes downhill from here. Mystic have brought it up to match point.
I like how Gunner, we're just, oh no, Gunner's typing in chat, boys. No, but I like how Gunner, we're just like, Gunner really needs to start showing up, start picking it up. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna pick up the Alda now, guys. I'm gonna pick up the Alda, and then I'm just not gonna let go of left click on every single one of them I see. And that's exactly what he did. He ran straight into Study as an anchor with the Alda in hand, took care of one on the right side of Study, peeked left, took care of the guy on the window, and it was flawlessly played, and they just jumped out the window, and he was celebrating after that one. But yeah, I like to see Gunnar actually start picking it up. And right now he's going back to the Maestro, and he knows where he thrives. And I'm pretty sure now sticking to that anchor role with the Maestro, I think he should be able to start picking it up. And with that aggression that he did show, like I said, Eddie found a weakness in their push, took advantage of it, found 2 kills as a result. Gunnar, the exact same situation, different map. Or not different map, but different site, where Maestro, he found the weakness in the play, realized that they were split up and they're not supporting each other, took the Habana, peeked the left, and took the person on the window, and both of them played very similar situations.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to digest what happened. You did a really good job of dissolving that up and really culminating to a point. Mystic just found their frags. If I'm going to dumb it down in any way, they just did something they weren't able to do previously. They found picks. They stepped back into their objective, and they played it well. And Pioneers, they couldn't step inside, because every time they did, Gunnar would just swing with an Alda, or you'd find another teammate like a very nice Nitrocell toss to come through and to find more success. And when you lose Riken, who's got 7 frags and is just 1 below Revive, but has been top fragging pretty consistently, has a really good score lane here, especially when it comes to opening picks for them. When you lose that player to a Nitro, that might be the only way we're seeing Mystic win, is if they get that Nitro Cell kill onto Riken, because that sets them up for success. They've now lost a massive frag potential, and Mystic are just going to capitalize off of that. Their team that does a great job of capitalizing off of mistakes. Any mistake Pioneers is going to make, they'll try to act on it. It just comes down to whether or not they win those 50-50 gunfights, and Pioneers have done a good job about winning those. But I think Mystic are finally said, okay, let's take the lead out of our pants and actually use our correct mouses. I'm no longer going to use that $20 Walmart mouse. I'll finally pick up my Logitech and actually know how to aim. So, I mean, time will have to tell if that'll continue, though.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Yeah, but that's entirely true. And it goes into the point that I made of how they kind of just pick apart where they know that there's a weakness in their play. They take full advantage of it. And I feel like the defenders are only doing that like one person at a time. They only do it like only one person notices a weakness, like one round at a time. And I feel like if they actually had every player understanding of how a round is going down and being able to find the frags where they feel like they should be finding those frags. And ooh, Gunnar finally hitting that double digits right there. So he's going to be joining Silent right there. And Gunnar is definitely going to be picking up now with that Alda. And I like to find an aggressive Maestro. That Alda is an absolutely insane weapon. So to see him actually show that consistency in his aggression between 2 rounds, I feel like the attacking side is in for a treat.
Yeah, difficulty will have to be had. Already Winded's going to be able to find kicks. They'll be kicking themselves in the rear after it, but at this point in time, Revive's just kind of relegating out their nades, trying to maybe catch 1 or 2 players off guard. Gunnar's going for a cheeky hold in terms of lying down and trying to use that Habana hold to their own advantage, but it's not going to work out. And instead, holding a little bit more of an advantageous position. There goes Silent, popping off once again. Now 13 kills to their name, taking out Winded, who now has 10 deaths. And Mystic have set themselves up. A 1-player lead now, but Pioneers is hunting from below. You see Anti, they have not been able to find very many kills for themselves, only 3, but they're on the prowl. They can hunt. They catch 1 player off guard, and they can do what they need to do to capitalize and finish off a round, and that's exactly what we're trying to see happen. Pioneers, this is make it or break it for you at this point in time. Mystic, this is match point. Finish off strong. Anti finds the kill. Prowling does work out. They'll be able to capitalize and take the shot. Gunnar dispelled now as Revive swings instead. Eddie swings from behind. Diffuser is actually down. Eddie's in a bad position, though, getting caught off guard, trapped inside a master bedroom. He knows there's players inside a bathroom, but he can't really do too much to defend it. Instead, they'll get the Diffuser, play their own game. A swing comes from Asian. It takes a second or 2, but they'll find Anti. And the shot comes from Eddie. Wonder Woman out for the count. And Mystic will capitalize and finish off Villa strong.
Oh my gosh, that's what I wanted to see from Mystic right there. Right, like I said, they find those weaknesses, and I want to mention Gunnar. The way he actually played that situation with the Ayana's Gemini, he noticed that the Gemini ran in. He took care of the Gemini and realized they're not going to peek that angle again. They're going to try to come from behind because they realize where I am now, and they're going to try to pick apart my play. His awareness of that is great. I mean, like, he sadly didn't win the gunfight with the Ayana, but he was aware of it. He was aware of where they're going to be peeking. And it was probably a mixture of the audio call from behind him as well. So when he did peek that, I was just like, this guy is on another level. And I have nothing but respect for this guy now. And it really goes to show why he is currently on aggro now.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great match to say the least. We'll be heading to Oregon next. I know Carr doesn't necessarily like Oregon, and neither does Chief.
You're
So
one to
that
talk.
means I like Oregon. So we'll figure something out along the way. We're going to be taking a short 3-minute break. We'll digest what just happened previously for a little bit before jumping in again. But thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you back in just 3 short minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the SFCL. My name's Infernosis, joined here by Caro, and we're going to be jumping pretty quickly into this one, but I'm really excited for Oregon, especially with just how lopsided this entire game has really felt. It's been extremely attacker-sided. Colm in the chat can suck a big one.
Oh, yeah.
It has been an attacker-sided game. Don't doubt me on that. Statistically, more rounds are won on attack than they were on defense, and it just really and truly is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot going on in this match, and there's just a lot of fragging, and I'm to the point where I'm actually becoming starving from the amount of energy I am giving out and all these really cool plays that have been coming on. I think I might actually order food. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, totally. What are you thinking?
I don't know if anyone in the chat knows what this is, but I don't know how consistent it is of like a food chain around this area. But Panera, I'm thinking about ordering food from there right now. I know this is completely separate. Oh, bands, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, Panera Bread's good. Don't worry. But yeah, bands that come through. This is a go-to. We know Thatcher's banned in like 90% of the matches we've seen from these guys. It's going to be what it is. I mean, that's a guarantor. It's going to be Mystic once again. We saw they banned Ace last time. I wouldn't be shocked to see Maverick banned out here. It is Oregon. So if you see Maverick banned, you'll see Kaid banned. It's just a guarantee. It's going to be Habana, though. So it's going to be that walk-in closet. You're probably going to have to rely on Thermites and Aces instead for that role. but it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to take walking closet for the second floor. I think maybe that's an interesting decision because they like Habana. They brought Habana because it's an attacker. Like,
I have an issue with that because I'm
okay,
pretty sure they played Habana because they banned the Ace. Ace is a heavy fragger, or he's not a heavy fragger, but he's a fragger in the role of a hard breach. Like definitely because his weapon is not only flawless, like a really clean weapon, but his gadget is made so he can just throw the hard breach and then just get straight back to gunning. It's like throwing a lesion mine. You can just throw a lesion mine and then oh, okay, now I can hold the angle again. That's why I'm pretty sure that's why they had to pick the Habana, because they can no longer play Ace. And she's like the next line, or the next like version of, or as close as they could get to an Ace, because it's that long range hard breach. So I don't know, because like considering that they did ban Habana, yes, they saw that they were consistent with that play last game, but now that they just gave them the Ace, which is probably, in my opinion, the worst decision to make as a ban.
no, worst decision makes banning Caveira.
Okay, in a competitive mindset, if you're going to be making a valuable ban, that probably was not
recruit.
the decision.
I made that joke the other day last night on UPL. I stated that we really don't see enough recruits in competitive play. I mean, think about it. You can bring an LMG, like 17 flash grenades and 2 nades on top of it. Like, you just tossing and spraying everything. Recruit would be so good. Too bad they removed that. Like,
okay. Why? Okay, that I'm just gonna add on to the whole point of banning Habana instead of Ace. Ace is the go-to operator for this map. If they're going kids dorms, they typically go an Ace and then a Maverick, and then they'll split up the 2 heart breaches, splitting from the Maverick going to big tower, and then the Ace going master bedroom with whichever support they decide to orient the most.
Preference.
It is a personal
preference. A lot of teams rock Habana. I see a lot of teams rock Habana.
Okay, but
because it makes better sight lines. It makes better sight lines.
Yeah,
that's why you bring Habana. It's safety and sight lines. And so for a more frag-centric team like Mystic, banning Habana and removing sight lines for Pioneers, who's more likely to make the hold and then sit back and kind of use it to get a kill first, it's a good choice. That's a good ban by Mystic, because they want to make the hole and then step through it. Pioneers wants to make the small hole and then shoot through it. It's a difference in play style. It's a good ban for Mystic. It's just a matter of will it actually go out the way they expected it to.
Was it a Mystic ban?
Yes. Yes, Habana was a Mystic ban.
I thought that was the second slot. Oh, God.
Yes, second and third slot were Mystic. So.
Huh. I may have a
Mystic went Habana and Valkyrie. Pioneers went Thatcher and Mira.
Interesting. Okay, never mind then. I was completely thrown off there. So that does make it. That does have an understanding of why they did ban the Habana, I guess. And considering that Pioneers were thriving in that role as well, so that completely goes over the fact that why Silent is currently playing Ace right now, and that would be the personal preference. In my opinion, if they were to be playing their fragging role, then yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense overall. Okay, now my mind is settled.
Yeah, I just had to school you a little bit, teach you what it is.
all right, buddy.
You know? My big brain in all the leagues I've casted for, and in all the different games I've casted for, as well. Yeah, I digest quicker, much like how Gunner just got absolutely just ate up by Winded right there, digested quite quickly. Just absolutely nommed on, devoured, annihilated. There's a lot of words you can come up before. I mean,
I'll pull up the dictionary later.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up the thesaurus. Yeah, I mean, just find like
synonyms. Every word I can find that is compared to the word dictionary. Hold on, synonyms.
There you go.
Or not the dictionary. Digest. Hold on.
There you go. Dictionary.
Oh. All right, digest,
he's Googling,
dissolve,
he's finding stuff.
Absorb, take in, take up, break down.
Breakdown, that's a pretty good one.
I like breakdown. I like that.
We're really like, this is like actual caster like stuff you should know, like synonyms for words, and we're just Googling it mid-match. We're mid-match, synonyms.
We probably should know, but I'm just gonna add on to it real quick before we go into it. And another thing that I'm going to be doing as a caster, and what you shouldn't be doing, while I'm gonna be eating my meal, I'm just gonna leave you to spew out whatever information you can while I just sit here and
I'm used to it. I casted an SFCL season 1. Minor jab. I'm kidding. I'm playing.
Calm down.
A minute left, a minute and 5, I guess you should say, and only one player has been down. That's Mystic, and they're going to lose a second as well. Rican is able to deny Eddie on the push. Silent does find a consolation kill into Revive, but that might just be all she wrote. Silent is not really given the opportunity to get a second. Asian does find Rican. Kix has an opportunity to take the player sitting out inside a bottom pocket of Attic, but they're not able to actually find the kill. Instead, they're forced to kind of take a step back, and Asian is still on the prowl, now rotating over towards White Stairs. looking to maybe catch a player off guard. They've got themselves substantial positioning, but they haven't been able to take control of Attic, which removes a lot of sightlines. Asian does manage to find Winded. A 3v2 now in play. One player in Attic, one sitting inside of the children's room near the bunk side through a hole in the wall, and now Kix is still trying to step forward. Does manage to step through. They'll have a 3 split. One on White Stairs, one inside of Armory stepping through at a trophy, and then one coming from Attic. Wonder gets caught off guard from Kix. Now a 3v1. It's just Anti. They'll swing and find Silent. Pistol out. Trying to get the next. Not able to connect enough. They do manage to down Asian. 5 seconds on the clock. Anti lying down. They hunting. Finds the kill. And Anti finds more kills in round 1 than they did in all of game 2. Oh, sorry, game 1.
Oh my god, dude! I actually just like repelled in my chair from that clutch. He hit that last shot was, if he did not hit that first shot, that pure reaction time from the Habana probably would have been the game right there. Or whoever was playing, whoever that last operator was, that would have been the game if he did not hit that first shot. Because I probably have an understanding that the fact that Mystic is currently on attack, I would assume that they would be winning that gunfight. Downed the from White Stairs and then went straight to a prone angle, and that was probably should have been expected for a pre-fire, but clearly was not in their favor. Oh my gosh, I almost fell out of my chair right there, boys.
I swear I lip smacked my microphone as I jabbed myself forward. That was a good moment. That was nice.
How much
We
HP
spent
was
the
he on?
whole. Oh, low. Not that much, if I remember
Low.
correctly. Bad. He was down
10,
bad.
below 5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a good fight. It was not a good position to be in. Anti 3 kills into that. Do we have the stats for map 1 for? I'm trying to look at the stats. Where's our stat sheet for map 1?
I'm gonna have to find that. We are very.
We're really prepped for this. We know what we're doing.
Right.
Oh wait, here we go. Map 1. Anti had.
Send the link to me.
Oh, I don't only have the series total for opening kills. Why do we not have the stat for? All right. Listen here. Am I dumb? Am I like actually like?
I think we're just dumb. I think the production is not okay. I think we're just the ones that we need to start taking a step back. And it's just us. It's just us.
It's just all we have is opening kill. I don't like that. I wanted to see the rest of it. That's unfortunate. They did mark that they did get P4 playing round 4. There is a current match going on.
There is a match going on.
Keep in mind. No, this is an interesting start already. Opening kill did go in favor once again of Pioneers. They did a really good job of that in the second half of map 1, where it was Rican who just kind of popped off and found a lot for themselves. It did ultimately go more in favor of Mystic, where it was Gunner found one at a Rican, Asian found Anti, and then Gunner found Rican again. But starting off strong, Pioneers win a round, and they win it by getting the opening pick, and then just, I guess, relying on Anti to lie down and play the complete opposite of what they did last map. But it's interesting to see how it's going to fare out. But a knife kill from Rican into Asian. Rican is down in the process, but that is debilitating. Morally, that is just awful. Winded just baits the player as well. Eddie is just down and out for the count, and they're just going to leave him to die.
Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here just thinking of like, I like how we're just completely not really taking Oregon seriously whatsoever because of how we mention, like the amount of times that we mention how boring this map can be because of cookie cutter plays. But this is, I'm seeing a lot of diversity in these plays right now. I did not expect that type of engagement whatsoever. Rican gets a knife kill, and then Asian gets enough damage off to actually down him in the process. And then the big brain play coming out from Gunner, the Malusi Winded action. Oh, Antsy, oh my gosh, taking down Gunner. These angles popping up right now are coming left and right. We are being amazed every single time I'm in mid-conversation. Antsy's still going off. That's a double kill as well. He's not going to be letting up. And Silent is trying to cut off that type of play, but it does not seem like Antsy's going to give him the angle to actually peek and try to pre-fire. Silent 1v4 scenario. He probably will not be able to come out on top. That's a lineup, but Antsy's still going to be there for it. Triple kill onto Silent. Antsy is really showing up this time and definitely putting Mystic in their place.
Oh.
Yeah, Winded.
That is 2 triple kills, 2 3Ks back to back. 2 3Ks back to back that we see from Anti, who I believe didn't break 6 kills at all last map. I made the joke about them not breaking 3 kills at all in map 1. I think they got 4. Right? I think they got 4 or 5. I think guarantee now they have more kills than they had all of map 1. Maybe Villa is just Anti's kryptonite, you know, like maybe this one is just their bread and butter, but come on, Mystic is just succumbing to a player like Anti that they were thrashing so aggressively previously. That's demoralizing. That is a painful way to start off a map like Oregon. We could see a map 3 just because Mystic is getting crossed off at every single market.
Yeah, and like you said, this could be just the fact that Pioneer thrives on this map, but I feel like it'd be a little bit more of Mystic just understands Villa a lot more. Was that Mystic's pick of a map for Villa?
I can double check for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't recall because they did show the screen, but I sadly just passed by. So
Identity, well, not Identity. Sorry, why the
ID? Yeah, Pioneers did select Villa then. Okay, so that's interesting that Mystic decided to opt towards this site or this map and not going to be playing as falsely as they did on Villa. I think what they're doing right now is Pioneers understands that Mystic is going to be coming through and living up to their old team name of aggro and playing aggressive, and ready to actually try to take care of as many kills as they possibly can. And Pioneers is fully aware of that now, and now is going to be countering it with their own type of safe and secure play, and kind of countering to an extent. They're kind of going 50-50 with this slow play and aggressive play of their own.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to figure out the correct way to counter, and right now, Mystic are still trying to adapt. Pioneers have kind of figured out what's been working for them. They did it on the last map. They found their attacking wins, and now they're able to pull it off on defense. They've won more defensive rounds here than they won all of last map, so they're starting off strong. They've got themselves in an advantageous position. It's just a matter of kind of clearing up where they need to, and they're going to do just that. Winded wins the gunfight with Gunner. Gunner not living up to their name and will be felled because of it. Weekend in a firefight with some bullet holes against Eddie. And that's going to suck to be facing off against. But Asian does find a consolation kill back into Winded. But they're going to be felled immediately afterwards by Wonder. A bad position to be in. And Mystic still in a player disadvantage. Make it a 2-player disadvantage as Anti is on a rampage. Has yet to be felled. And takes kicks out for the count. Just 2 remaining. Silent and Eddie. And they're facing the world.
Oh yeah, and Silent is that one player that you expect the most out of because of what they were showing last game. Eddie was, Gunner was the other one with the double kill, but Eddie's not going to be far off of how Gunner was playing, and he's going to be taking a kill right onto Rican, and it's going to be running down to the 2v3 scenario, only 1 kill away from evening it up, and Wonder is going to be holding off that angle and throwing the smoke canisters to slow down their play. But at this very moment, these attackers need to start coming together and actually start working in unison. Anti is right here and slowing down the sledge play as much as possible. Eddie is fully aware of that, and I think he just caught a glimpse of the legs of Anti, and I'm hopeful for the pre-fire to come out, but Anti finds it anyway. Silent is there for the refrag, but now it's just the 1v2 scenario, around 25 HP remaining. Odds are pretty much stacked against them right now. Air jabs are set up for those flanks, but the wub right there is going to be devastating for that peak around that angle. Seems like Wonder, the positioning that they're in right now, is going to be devastating as well, because the pre-fire really needs to come out. But with the crossfire set up, he's not going to be acknowledging the bullets coming from the right-hand side and trying to commit to the push onto the smoke. Revive finds the kill as a result, but sadly, my boy Silent could not pull it off that time.
That is a bad position to be in. Like
100%.
A 2v1 and a great crossfire. We saw phenomenal crossfires already from Pioneers. I think we can attribute it down to the dining and in kitchen site on map 1 of Villa. We saw the crossfire that was set up. 1 player inside of laundry, 1 behind kitchen counter. And that was all they needed. That was all she wrote. Mystic were felled in that 1 round of their attack because of that. And now Mystic's being felled in the last 3 rounds of their attack because Pioneers have just done what Mystic's been incapable of, finding the picks, winning the rounds. The only time we've seen a close objective, a close round, is going to be round 1, where it was kids' dorms and dorms main hall, like we're about to see now, and it was because Mystic flubbed a 3v1. You saw Anti go on a tear, find 3 kills, then 3 kills, and now a 2 kill in that last round. Could have been a 3K, but we're denied from the player roaming behind on the refrag, but you've got to find a way to shut down Anti. Anti's a raid boss. I attribute this all the time. When you see a player that's popping off so well, so consistently, they're not just a threat to you anymore. They're not just this small, like, okay, this is our objective. We need to kill this player. They're popping off too much. We need to demoralize them, destabilize their play, stop them from snowballing. No, they're a raid boss. You fear the Reaper. The Reaper doesn't fear you. And Anti's definitely showing that just death prowess with that Vector has been nigh unstoppable with the MP5 and the Vector of Goyo. I mean, Pioneers have set themselves up for success, and they are backpacking off of Anti right now.
Yeah, I kind of find it funny because Anti kind of reminds me of a reverse version of how like bosses work in like any other game. So like if you like kill a boss in a game and then you unlock him as a playable character, he's like a very weak version of what you actually win against
Yeah.
in the boss fight. So it's just like a reverse of that. So like before he was like Bowser Jr., like the Bowser or whatever, something like that, and then now, oh my gosh, my caster's curse, no!
Just keep all right, Mystic, just pay Karo money. Just only talk about the players on the side.
Gosh, I thought it was over. I thought Caster's Curse was never gonna kick in ever again. Oh my gosh, it kicked in, guys. Oh my gosh. But one of the points I did want to bring up before I do send it back is that I admire Pioneer's like awareness of how these players, like how they are playing, because they show aggression and their gun skill is nothing to sneeze at, and they are aware of that. So every time they realize that they're in a 1v1 scenario, they're not gonna just take the gunfight straight on by themselves. They are aware that they will probably lose the gunfight, and they are humbling themselves in that situation, requiring the crossfire. And they're like, okay, I need to show the support, get the crossfire set up, because they're good players, but I don't think they're good enough to take care of two players in the exact same angle at the exact same time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have to worry about what you're capable of and not what you're incapable of. Exactly. Do what you can do. Don't worry about what you can't do. And I called it. We're going to see a Thermite actually take that walk-in closet wall. I called it. It's a pretty normal thing to see, and it's not so normal to see Winded just walk straight through and then gun down silent. That part I didn't necessarily anticipate, but a refrag comes through. Agent finds Recon. Winded will be able to survive a little bit longer as they've taken a step back, but a Ying will make it difficult to see. Revive takes the Ying out for the count. Gunner no longer allowed in. A 3v3 setup with a minute and a half left. Wonder sees the player cross as they attempted to get a spray through as well, but with one out big window, one white stairs, and then one still holding trophy trying to step into sight. Mystic have sightlines. They have positions, but they just don't know where the opposing team is. I don't think they have the information just yet of specific positions. They just have estimations. And when you can't know specific positions, then you kind of can't do anything about it. So they're going to have to reach a breaching round over. Agent's going to have to step over to assist, run into a wall because they don't know where the door necessarily is, and continue to have to fight this angle. One player is actually down below, roaming around, could catch the player of White Stairs off guard. They're trying to get to a position of dominance, but at this current moment, they'll try to swing forward. Winded out for the count from Kicks, taking themselves now in a one-man advantage. Mystic makes it two as Asian takes Revive, and now it's just going to be Wonder left standing, wondering what just happened. I'll say it as many times as necessary. The SMG-11 takes Eddie, a 2v1 in play. Knows that they're planting at this current time. Diffuser has been set up. Default position. Toxic Babes are available. Can toss to force them out of that position. Sprays and finds Kicks. Now a double kill set up for Wonder. They'll need a 3K. This might be Pioneers' objective. The swing does come through. Asian will deny it, however, and Mystic will win round 4.
I wish my camera was on for the situation. I went straight into the prey. I put my hands together, put it up to my mouth. I'm like, please, you got this, Wonder. You've been put into so many last second situations. We're the last remaining defender, and I was hoping they'd be able to pull it off this time, but sadly, they could not. They played really well, though. I cannot say that was not a good performance. Smoke canisters definitely could have been used to be able to flush out that ace and then got the kill onto them before dealing with the Nomad on the left-hand side, but you know, if things happen, there's so many variables that go into this game, and sadly, they just were not aware of the fact that they could have used it, and you can't really blame them last second. It's like one of those high pressure situations where some things you just miss, and sadly, that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, this is Pioneers' game to lose right now, I guess is the term to come up with. They're facing Mystic in a team that just beat them, and it very well could have been a 7-1 scoreline, but they did a great job of eating it back out and hitting it the way they did. But nonetheless, with Mystic at this point in time kind of trying to attempt the same level of resurgence, they're going to have to go above and beyond what Pioneers was capable of. We may see an exact opposite split of what we saw previously. We may see the 5-1 half that comes through, but instead of being Mystic with 5-1, it'll be Pioneers with it instead. So I think Pioneers have played spectacularly. They've done what they needed to do, but I also think that they've been a little bit too heavily reliant on standout players or standout plays, and Mystic just has to wait for that luck to run out. They have to wait for the pot at the end of the rainbow to run dry, and they're doing exactly that. They were able to outlast Pioneers, let them make mistakes, and then capitalize off of it, and we saw Wonder was just tapping the pedal that is the luck. They were attempting to pour the spout of luck out, and it just ran dry, and Mystic was able to find their first round win because of it. This might be a sign of more things to come if Mystic can just maintain that same level.
Yeah, I think the issue that round, was that the clutch situation was not put into the hands of Anti. because Anti was the clutch master the last time, but pull out the pistol and managed to take out 2 other operators without any issue whatsoever. Obviously, it was brought down to very low HP, so I don't want to say that there was no issue, but he did it pretty well done. It was well done. So the fact that Anti was dropped so early on, and the prone, no, that was definitely not the right move. I get that you're trying to find a better angle. Yeah, the question marks. I'm kind of questioning it too right now. That was not the best decision because Rican is obviously a fragger. M870 in hand. That would have been an interesting show to actually take down Asian that early on, but with his legs just kind of popping out, that was not an ideal situation. He probably should have fell off as soon as he heard gunfire.
Yeah. At this point in time, you've got Wonder sitting inside Harry Potter. You've got Anti kind of holding Pillar. Not really. They're just sitting behind Pillar. So it's not necessarily them trying to take that aggressive position behind Pillar. It's just really them occasionally peeking out and taking some tap fires out. But it becomes a problem. The Nitro Cell becomes a problem. I guess I could say we got a first view angle of that. That was pristine. Clap on the back for the Observer to nail that one through and through. A 4v4 set up. They're calling that one spectacularly. Eddie's even giving call at this point in time. Asian's kind of forced to defend against the player sitting inside main hall that's occasionally peeking out, to find something. It's Anti, and if they can find a couple picks, then they'll set Pioneers up for some success. But if they drop down E-Box right now, like Silent is wanting to do, he'll catch 1 and 2 players off guard. I think Anti's Retina's out for the count. They could step down and act off of this, but now you're in a position of little success. Silent shoots their teammate. They did manage to find 1. Asian gets 2 on top of Anti and Wonder. When it is flanked back around through E-Box, has actually taken Silent out, and Asian finds Revive, a quad kill set up. Asian is now the last man standing against Winded. They know that they're up on the second floor, should I say the first floor, but they're going to have to bring back their teammate of Gunner if they want to be able to contest this a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, I'm glad that Asian is here and ready for the quad, but they definitely need to get Gunner up there for that extra support. Asian is not here. Like I said before, they're not here to show some fancy plays. They're here to win their rounds. Definitely, especially not in the situation they're in right now. It's a 2-round deficit in the favor of Pioneers, but sitting Harry Potter right now, Winded is ready for the audio call to come out, and there it is. There's the ace. Asian was ready for it, and he heard the audio call from the left-hand side the exact same time Winded did, and obviously Asian is just better in this type of situation. Look at that. Woo.
Just wins it. Just wins it.
Just wins it. Oh my gosh. Glorious. Beautiful play.
A great job of flanking around to find that success, right? They didn't just say, okay, we'll push only basement, right? We'll just go right back in through Bear Room into Blue Bunker and then play from there. Instead, they say, okay, we'll flank around. We'll play a position of saying, hey, I'll go back over to Big Tower. I'll drop down Big Tower stairs, and then I'll play an off angle. And that's exactly what happened. And it works. I mean, they were able to capitalize off of the, I guess, lack of knowledge from the player Pioneers. Winded was just caught off guard, and it works out for him. But Mystic now have a chance to tie it out at the 3-3. None of their defensive rounds are necessarily going to matter for Pioneers if they can't stop them on the attack as well. Mystic has kind of been the exact opposite. They've typically been an attacker-sided team, but this map's looking the exact opposite of the last one, so maybe we see Mystic just full stop, full hold the defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting right now. I feel like my predictions of them actually thriving on defense is going to probably be happening on this map, if anything. So I'm excited. I'm ready to have my mind blown right now, but we are going on round 6. I'm waiting for one more round until that round switch. So that is exactly what I am waiting for right now. This round is kind of just like nothing to me. I kind of really don't care. I'm waiting for the round switch, right? Like even if it would tie it up, I really don't care. I just want to see Mystics on defense. So I mean, I guess I do want to see him on defense.
Fanboy.
I'm not fanboy. I'm just curious. I'm here to prove a point, okay? It's my own point at that. So let's just take a step back. Don't call me a fanboy, all right? Once my food gets here, I'm just gonna start eating it. I'm gonna leave you to cast, all right?
That's fine. It's all right. I mean, what's new? I mean, let's like.
all right, buddy.
Listen, you called me out earlier for wanting to say monkey zap gun in Overwatch. Like, listen, I get to call you out occasionally too, all right? We'll play it fair, but Mystic is taking a very aggressive approach, stepping up already. Revive's got a position of dominance, does find one. Silent on the refrag, not taking much damage in the process, but Mystic has just swung in, finding so much already. Asian finds Anti a second now as they take Winded. Wonder cannot find the shot, and Silent will take it instead. It's just Rican left standing. They're forced to drop, does tag one on the way down. We've seen them find kills this way, but they can't find it this time around. Gunner will capitalize, and Mystic thrash, dominate, and absolutely decimate the side of Pioneers. Absolutely nothing they can do about it in a very nice 3-3 half at the halftime switch.
You're right, I'm fanboying. You're right, my bad. I'm gonna take a step back. I take back my words. I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
I am fanboying right now. And that is the mystic that we were missing from last match. That's the aggression. They noticed where the weakness was, took advantage of it, rushed in there. Obviously, the first kill going through was what the defenders needed, but Silent was there for it. Silent was there, got the refrag, and they didn't let up. Even after that one frag, they didn't let up. They noticed that, okay, there's no one here, get this killed. No, they probably had the location of majority of the defenders, because I'm pretty sure they were mostly like roaming around, like around probably the dining area. I'm not entirely sure where these kills happened, because they were all going left and right, and most of the perspective for the casters came from the meeting areas. I'm pretty sure there was like one or two kills in there, Wonder being one of them, and surprisingly Wonder was not their last remaining operator this time, so I'm glad to see that as well. But now this is what I've been waiting for, guys, the defensive side on Oregon, and I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Well, I'm really hoping that they maybe follow through and do actually blow your mind, right? I mean, like, that's... I have a joke I really want to make, actually. I'm not going to make it. It does have to do with blowing. And maybe the lack thereof for you.
You already made the joke.
But it's... Yeah, I'll sneak it in every once in a while. I'll just tidbit it in. But at this point in time, when you've got a tie game and you've got Mystic who are going to start off on basement and hold this objective, Pioneers have their work cut out for them. It doesn't look to be, because they don't have a Vulcan shield, it doesn't look to be they're necessarily wanting to full hold blue bunker, that elbow. Instead, they have the option to do so and then reinforce it where necessary. It may just be a way to scare them, to have Pioneers waste utility in blue bunker inside of elbow, instead of actually trying to push it. Maybe they'll just be scared of the shield. Because, I mean, I'm scared of bees. So, I mean, being a shield in the game is probably pretty scary as well, but... Pioneers, they've got the work cut out for them. Mystic are pretty much full holding in a lot of directions. They've got some offsite presence as well. You do see one player holding, I think, central staircase of lobby. A little bit far off on the south side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pull up on Cafe and you're just going to peek the window straight into Cigar and notice that there's a shield pixel, it definitely hits different. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really blame anyone for saying, okay, I don't want to peek this angle. There's a shield there. They're going to pre-fire me. I'm just going to wait until we can deal with the shield and flush him out of there before anything else. So, yeah, I cannot blame you on that one. So, yeah, coming into this, definitely going to be... you expect the same aggression that Pioneers had been showing before. Pioneers is definitely not someone to really mess with on the attacking side, because they definitely could keep up with Mystic when it came to the Villa side, so they can actually perform to a similar level. And yeah, as you can see right here, the drones are going out, Intel is already out, and a minute 45 still remaining. So yeah, the very aggressive peak coming out, they're already pretty much ready for the take on the pillar area. The pre-fires are definitely going to be coming out, and the defenders need to be aware that they don't need to peek as much. And with the smoke canisters there, that's definitely going to be slowing them down way more than the bullets can.
Yeah, I mean, bullets do make you slow, I guess. I mean, like, they definitely do. I mean,
it's more like an area control.
Yeah, you can really relegate yourself a little bit more safety, a bit of a safety net, but a flank comes through from Gunner, and they've shot. That's it. They now need to step away. Mystic have kind of ruined that push. He's going to step back up through meeting hall, attempt to spray, does find. Where do you get off finding that success, Gunner and Arigan? They'll find a second into Winded, looking for the third, finds it to hand tie, and Gunner's unstoppable. Just Wonder and Revive left standing. They'll swing through, and it's all over. Agent find the second two, and as our fellow caster likes to say, it's the buddy ace, and it's all going downhill. Mystic in an absolute stop of that round. They lost one, but they are not going to let it matter. Mystic will take their first offensive round.
This is why I have a 66%. Listen, guys, I said that they would.
We all said it was Mystic. You can't get off on this. We all said Mystic.
No, not for this match. I'm talking about for all of them, because my 66% does not just pertain to this one for it. Oh no, but
right now.
But no, Gunner, that was definitely the flank that they needed. The play went out. It was kind of sloppy. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It was really sloppy. And it definitely goes back to the point where I said that Mystic understands where the weakness is, opened up that weakness, and Gunner had an issue deciding on where to actually focus the first kill. Tried to pre-fire the guy on bottom stairs, lost the visual, and then flicked back over to the person. I believe they're on camp, because I don't think they're really doing anything with the angle that they were holding. I'm pretty sure they were on camp, but they did manage to drop the the Ash. The next person pushed through because they were aware that they used up all of that K1A, so they were free to push it, and all they really had to deal with is with that SMG-12, which is a gunfight that you would probably be comfortable getting into because SMG-12 is not really the best gun to really deal with. Close range situations, yes. But yeah, the Nomad definitely did get the short end of the stick in that situation, and then the third kill came through, and everyone was going crazy when Gunner picked up that 3K because that was pretty much the round right then and there. And then, like you said, the buddy ace, just the tag team, a triple kill to a double kill right at the end, and Asian and Gunner are definitely happy. And oh my, I didn't even realize, I didn't look at the stats. Look at where Asian is right now, 16 kills. He could be coming up to a 20 kill game right here.
Yeah, I mean, you may be able to see it. I mean, yeah.
Don't give me a yeah.
We could see it. I mean, Asian did get the ace, if I remember correctly, in round 5, right? That was Asian to get the ace.
Yeah, that was Asian.
Gunner almost had an ace last round. I mean, they got 3 kills, which is more kills in that one round than they had in the rest of the entire game, which is debilitating in its own way, but at the same time, they're at least looking good, right? They're at least picking it back up, and we're seeing a bit of a reversal from what we saw at map 1, where it is defense kind of coming out on top. It was a halftime, and we are only 1 round above. So before the same dude that tried to call me out last game and then was ultimately proven wrong because big small brain goes smooth, it could still be wrong at that point in time. But I mean, we're seeing Pioneers take their time, a minute now off the clock. They're still trying to decide if they want to fully commit to going into attic, which they definitely need to do, but they're wanting to gather a safety net first. They're peeking that attic window. They're making sure they can come across the side, making some sideline angles. Maverick Trick probably intended to come through as well, but with that player taking crossfire shots, I fear Mystic in that situation. It is a good right to fear Mystic in those firefights. They win those 9 times out of 10, and Pioneers kind of have to pray that they can get a safety net before they commit in any direction.
Yeah, and I like how they actually opted towards putting 3 people around Big Tower, which isn't something crazy, but the decision that they did make is going to be pretty impactful because, yes, they do have kicks there. Well, I assume that they have kicks there because Smoke typically would hold the attic side, but if they don't, then that would be a big question mark above my head right now. But, kicks should be able to hold off as much as he possibly can. If they do try to have, if they waste as much as possible, it doesn't seem like he's actually on it. He's ready for the rotate over to it, but it doesn't seem like Silent is going to be that first line of defense over there. So if they do manage to waste out as much utility as possible, try to burn ADSs, as you can see right there, that's going to be the first flashbang. And I like that they're going to be falling off that angle because they're aware that they're going to be dumping as much utility as they possibly can onto that angle. And now that they've actually dumped it, I'm pretty sure they already also got intel out as well, so they're ready to take care of this angle. First shot's going out right now. Anti taking a significant amount of damage, but he's not going to be stopped. Silent is going to be is going to be silenced, and Revive is going to be the next person to go off as well. Eddie is going to be there to take care of Anti, and Wonder is going to be taking care of Eddie as well. Gunshots going back and forth right now. Wonder is going to be picking up a kill on that ace little angle from wherever it was. I'm pretty sure that was around the closet area, but now just going to be leaving to 2 remaining defenders on site with 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Asians trying to hold on for as much as they can. They're in white stairs. They have a crossfire shot. Nice, lines up, winded, and cleans up. No one's pushing walking closet. They get a little aggressive, but Rican is able to find the kill. Now just kicks. But Rican is low, and Wonder has about 76 HP left. It could be worked with at this point in time, planting it at a position. It actually does damage Wonder for most of their HP. They'll be forced to be able to step it back down. They'll toss it. If it goes through the wall, that might be all she wrote. It does! It is saved! That's a massive play to come through! Absolutely insanity. It is such a rare occurrence to see Toxic Babes find such a high level of impact like that, but that is exactly what you're gunning for, and that's exactly what we just saw.
Do you realize what he just did? Not the
Toxic Babe through the wall. You know how rare it is to get that? It's so inconsistent now.
I'm talking about the play beforehand, dude. Okay, it could have
He
been something.
planted it.
No, listen, no. Okay, so when he was holding the angle next to the rotate, he was expecting someone to play it, right? He pre-placed the smoke, and obviously was beautifully played because he managed to counter as long as he possibly could, and it stopped because of it. But when he peeked the left-hand side, he couldn't find the visual, so he shot the SMG-11 to the left to give out that audio call, and then he rotated positions over to the other side of the bomb chassis, so it's harder to peek that angle near the rotate. And he knows that those attackers are not going to be committing to that angle. They need to support the diffuser. So when he made the audio call to the left, he applied that pressure from the left-hand side, and then that opened up a window for him to peek the right-hand side, or peek the doorway away from the side to the left, and then throw the canister and then pop it again. He just heard them like sheep. He just said, okay, you go over there, allow me to throw the smoke canister, and then just win off the round like that. That was genius. if that was his intent. Genius.
I mean, Kix is a monster. I think we all knew that. I think we all knew that anyways, right? Like Kix is insane, but there's another level of play beyond it. Like you digested that really well. There's a whole like mind game behind it. And Mystic's not typically seen as the mind game team. Maybe this is like something new under Gunner's leadership. Maybe they're kind of growing with it. You see it occasionally from the old aggro squad, but we're seeing it so much here. We're seeing them hold so strong. We're also seeing Asians sitting in the top of Big Tower. Really interesting position, to say the least. They're really gunning for this. If they can shut down this Big Tower push, then they just basically shut down Pioneers, and there's nothing they can do about it. But Asian is having 4 or 5 players even surrounding them. I think they know Asian is here. This might be all for naught, but they do have some assistance. Gunner has rotated over to help out as well, hoping that it will be enough. Shots from Asian, attempting to connect. Doesn't really have much assistance from the Pioneer side. Would be a dangerous position. You got your ace in the outside window. Revive is there. This firefight is still anyone's game. They're trying to mind game it out. A nade tossed, forced to take a step back. Also flanked the other way. Wonder shoots the teammate of Rican at some point in time. Eddie also finds Wonder on the refrag. Winded is not going to matter too much longer, but Revive finds a nade kill to Asian. Tied back at the 3v3, but what the actual just happened for Pioneers?
Okay, like majority of the time that any sort of defender tries to hold that big tower angle like that, fails majority of the time because the attackers understand what they should be doing. They open up every single one of those windows and then apply that crossfire, because majority of the time, even if a trade goes off, they can flush out Asian like it's nothing. Like they won't have an issue with it. But they clearly did there, and I expected the loss to come through because the nades are being utilized pretty well. Obviously, the first one didn't miss and the second one did connect, but if the TK didn't go off, then that would have been an absolute failure. So in that situation, Wonder obviously is not too happy about taking down Rican, and Rican has been a fragger for majority of Villa, and to not really see too much this time, it's not going to be that as much as it was previously, but either way, it's still an impactful kill. It's a kill nonetheless, and that's going to be it's going to be evened up right now, but off the beginning, it would have been a huge man advantage.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to digest, I guess. Like, we know that someone got 8 up in round 1. We made that joke a lot already, but like that is just, I want to know where the team kill happened. So much was happening all at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It's just that hurts on a spiritual level, I guess.
I think what happened was he was propelled on the window and he shot.
That's not where he died though. Those 3 were still alive at a point in time. That's what I thought as well, but it didn't work out that way. Okay, Gunner finds the next kill into Winded. We had seen one go through as well. Revive finds Gunner, but they actually trade, and Gunner gets the headshot kill with a secondary pistol, and Mystic win yet another round. Now just collapsing inward. Any attempted attack we're seeing come out from Pioneers right now is just getting, I guess, shut down, completely ripped away from them. There is no chance at this point in time of Pioneers winning this out if they can't deny Mystic's offside angles, and they're taking too much time to do so. I think Pioneers just needs to get fully aggressive and kind of play Mystic's own game. They're not adapting, they're being adapted to, and it's showing in the scoreline.
Yeah, 100%. And Mystic is obviously at that match point once again. It's going to be a bit further this time, the deficit between the 2 scores. So they're definitely going to be thriving this time on defense. So I'm happy to see that go through. And right now, they're going to be going towards Laundry again, because I'm pretty sure the last time, didn't Rican come out, or not Rican, but the attacking side itself come out with the victory last time they played on Laundry? I'm pretty sure they did.
Are you talking about attacking Laundry? The last time we saw Laundry was Mystic, and they won it on defense. It was their first round, and it was the massive round where Gunner found 3, and then Asian found 2. It was the Buddy Ace.
Okay, yeah, okay, that is right. Okay, because like
Mystic statistically is winning Laundry more. It's a 2-1 right now, because we saw Pioneers win it in round 2, right? We saw them win it in round 2, where Rican found the first pick, and then we saw Rican get picked first in round 7, and of course we saw in round 5 again, where we just saw Mystic rush in and win with an ace from Asian. No, that wasn't they rushed in to get the ace. Asian got the ace, but Asian secured the ace by going the flank play and reviving back his teammates, who was, I believe it was Eddie, who was on Maverick. No, it was Jackal. It was Gunner, I think. They went and revived their teammate and then floated back towards Big Tower and find the final kill and Winded.
Yeah, I think because I think the majority of the reason why I didn't really take note of that whole Buddy Ace being the actual downstairs site was because most of the action actually unraveled around the big tower stairs, and I didn't really have much of a view of the actual site. So like, you know how your mind kind of just like connects things. You're just kind of sitting there like, okay, yeah, I know this place, I know where the site is, but the entire time it happened, it was kind of just on big tower, and my breath was taken away because of how fast the round kind of just like unraveled. So that is a big reason why that kind of happened. And the only other time I remember a downstairs hold was when Anti just hit a triple kill playing as the Goyo sitting behind the laundry machine. So yeah, I'm open for new play to come out right now, and hopefully Mystic can actually play as hard as they did last time. But I think they're aware that Pioneers is aware themselves that the aggression is going to be coming out, so they're going to be taking a step back. And if they do have an opening, they're going to take the opening because they are flawless with those weaknesses, or spotting out those weaknesses. So I'm waiting to see if they can actually do that once again.
It's going to be super difficult right now for Pioneers to capitalize where they need to. This Mystic hold is pretty substantial. They've got a player sitting by door. You can see that right there. That's going to be your main player of Silent. You got Gunner holding the same position we saw Anti holding previously, which is this corridor and pillar hold, where they've got a long shot over towards barrel room. They've got some substantial position to actually hold stairs as well. But one thing we're seeing different from Mystic is such an emphasis on that blue bunker elbow, and it's working out. Revive's taken so much damage off of a Toxic Babe. I'm not sure why they didn't just move, but apparently it seems to work in the other direction. But nonetheless, it's going to be super difficult to figure out how to step downwards, because right now, Mystic have you on lock. You're putting too much of an emphasis on big tower. Take a step away. Go laundry. Go kitchen. Find something else. Or freezer, sorry. Find something else, because this is not working. You can't 3-stack big tower and not push any other direction. We're just seeing 2 floater players for Pioneers that aren't actually stepping away until there's 45 freaking seconds left. It's just too little time, too much time wasted in too little of space.
I mean, like, you'd expect a bunch of action to pop out right about now, but well, yeah, this is where it starts coming out right now. Gunner finds one, Wonder finds another, but now 3 kills for almost every single person. A 4th is picked up as well on Team Mystic, and that is going to be GG both maps as well. And Mystic, obviously, thriving on both sides and can actually pull off. And like you said before, it was a reverse sweep this time on Oregon, and Mystic is just showing that they are the better team. I don't think any of us were really too surprised. Our predictions on every single one of us said that Mystic was going to win. So I think we're ready for that one.
I think staff was pretty
Eddie's survival rate gonna go burr.
Hey, Corback, I actually know you're watching this at this point in time. Corback, congratulations. You actually get your first ever victory by copying everyone else. So congratulations. I'm really 3% probably after that. I mean, let's be honest here. He's like, what, 1 for 4 now after this? Because he failed his first 3, so he's got a 25%, which is probably still better than Tofu's, let's be honest here. But we're going to be taking a short 3-minute break, and then we'll be right back after that with an interview to congratulate the winning team of Mystic. So make sure to stay tuned, make sure to keep watching, and then, of course, we've got another game right after that. But we'll see you guys in just 3 short minutes. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the SFCL. My name is Infernosis, joined here by Caro, and of course, down below me here, well, hopefully not here, is Gunner. He's had a very spectacular game, and he's kind of with a whole new team behind him. Gunner, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. Especially good after, predicting your team to win. Every single staff member, I believe, for SFCL did at that point in time. We all had insanely high hopes for you guys coming into this, obviously. So I wanted to bring the first question forward. Obviously, the rest of your team, Old Mystic squad, out, and then Aggro was basically dissolved into Mystic, and you picked up a whole squad. What's it like having a whole new team behind you?
It's interesting, to say the least. I mean, I've been teaming with like my Old Biscuit guys, like Whitlock. I've been teaming with Whitlock for 2 years. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a change of scenery, it's for sure. But I mean, we're doing good. I'm happy with everyone. So yeah.
I mean, you guys look great. Car, you got a question? All right, so next question I want to bring up towards you here, Gunner, is going to be the question of round 7, if I remember correctly. I could double check that. Yeah. No, round 8. No, I am stupid. It was round 7. Yeah, round 7, you're 3K. You had 2 kills for the entire first half, and then you came into round 7 and picked up a 3K in one of the dumbest fucking plays I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing, where you shot and completely should have lost because you shot too soon, peeking in from Green Hall inside into Big Tower, and then impacted the wall, sprayed to 2 different people, and then found all 3 in the end. Was it panic? Like, what was going? What was happening there? Like,
I picked Vigil just off because I was just mad because like I was playing idiots and I just wasn't having a good time. So I was like, I'll play like an idiot too. And so I picked Vigil in the intent of like I thought they were gonna map the hatch open, and I thought, I'll just impact open dining wall, murder him, run away like a happy person. Well, they didn't go for the hatch for some reason, so I was like, I'm gonna walk down Green Hall, and then I didn't have trigger discipline, so I saw Zoe walk down. I'm like, I'm just gonna impact this, fuck it, and there was 3 people there, so I got a little spooks, but I won them all, so it's good.
that you did, Corey. You got a question?
This time I do. I feel like I was like Penn on the Penn and Teller show, where I'm just quiet the whole time and I just observe and nod my head.
Yeah, just nod your head.
Yeah. But throughout the 2 maps, you had Villa first, and you didn't do too hot in a Villa. We all had high expectations for you, but you didn't do too hot. But when we switched over to Oregon, you kind of start cleaning it up. What did you change up? Like, was it a mental thing, physical thing? Like, what? And overall, what did you change to be able to get where you were at the end of that match?
I mean, I didn't really change like too much. Like I wasn't like worried about it. Like, I think I played pretty good on Villa. Like I had like 10 or 11. So I was like, I mean, I was feeling fine. It's definitely
must be
a different like, I don't know. I was getting smoked at the beginning of the game, and like I was just annoyed. So I was like, all right, I'll just run around like a brainless idiot on defense, and I'll kill them all. And I did.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely should have been my question, because I entirely forgot that you did drop around like 10 or 11 at the end, but it was the beginning that I more remembered, where you kind of were falling off a little bit, and that you managed to pick it up at the end. So that's what my question should have been. So thank you for cleaning that up for me. And yeah,
you're welcome.
That's all I got for you.
So I got 2 points to make. One, make sure this isn't really a question. It's really just like to drill it home. Make sure Asian knows that getting knifed is probably like the worst thing you could possibly have, and not only getting knifed, but then being baited afterwards, having your teammate get baited. I don't remember who got baited, but they baited bad for that down player insecurity.
Yeah.
So that was entertaining to watch. It was an actually really nice play. So beginning of the game, anti was kind of the thing. The 3K clutch at the very beginning in first round 1 for Oregon, and then immediately getting a 3K in the next round for holding basement, and then getting a 2K in the round after that. I mean, were you scared of Anti, the player that didn't show up basically at all for all of map 1? I mean, like what's going on? Like, how do you feel?
I mean, I'll never be scared of like anyone in T3, to be honest. Like that's just kind of, I don't know.
That's good.
Like, if I'm being like really honest, like he had a good couple of rounds, and then Lucky fell off, and they lost terribly. So, I mean, he did all that for a while.
The luck running dry. That's what I call it. The luck running dry.
I mean, like we've scrimmed one time as a team, like a full team. Like we're still like learning, getting used to each other. So like he just made plays off of like our inexperience, like with each other, and he shit on us. So good for him.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. It was like you guys being new and like having to do it and not having much time together. But obviously, you guys have found success early on here, right? In this game, and you guys are going to have plenty of time to work well together. You guys obviously look well together. And I guess the other question is, old aggro, new mystic, right? For your squad mates, the very TDM style. That's always what I like to say. They're very kill heavy. I mean, they are one of the most aggressive teams you can ever watch. You just can't attribute them to any other team currently in a T3 scene because they just play so differently. It's like playing ranked, but everyone there is brain dead, except they're actually geniuses with like 10,000 IQ. So it's like half the brain is smooth and the other half is crinkly as shit. So, how is it like adapting to that?
I mean, they're still, they're newer to comp still and like, all that good stuff. So, I mean, I'm kind of like over peaking. It happens a lot, it showed in some of our games, but like once I get them to dial that down, like mechanically, like all of them are just gifted, honestly. Like I really like once they get it down like to a T, like I really don't see a lot of people beating us like T3 wise. But yeah, like once we dial down like the little mistakes with the over peaking, miscommunication, we get all our attacks set, like I think we'll be really good.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that the pickup came through and that you were staying, I was like, all right, that's it. Like every vote ever is going to. You're just taking the one of the most clinically gifted set of players there is, and then putting them under good leadership and actual experience, and having strategy that can be brought through in a little bit more of a substantial manner. I mean, it's going to be insane by all accounts.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for coming and having the interview. Once again, congratulations on your victory and your first big one, I guess, for this new squad that comes over. I'll give you a second to shout out anyone behind you or anything you have.
Shout out Xerxes on Mystic. Okay, that's my boy. He supports us, and shout out everyone who like supports us. Always love you guys.
Well, once again, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and that's all we have for you in this interview.
Pleasure.
All right, so here I am, Infernos, is joined here by Caro, who is currently eating, I guess you could say. He stopped eating, but he's still a hungry boy, a hungry lad.
Dude, I'm
much like this Mystic squad apparently was in that second half. I mean, they were devouring. But this is all we have here today for me and Caro, but you do have another game immediately after this, I believe casted by Treasury in Corbeck. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. It should be yet another really good game. Thank you once again, Corbeck and Treasury, for switching time slots. I wanted to get drunk tonight for Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that was part of the conversation. That was part of the conversation.
Yeah, that was literally, I was like, hey, can we switch? I kind of want to, go out with some friends. I have those. It's shocking, I know.
Wait, what?
But once again, thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll have another match coming real soon. Producer, do you have any estimation for that? Is it immediately after, or will there be a break? 20 to 30-minute break. So stay tuned. I guess make some macaroni and cheese. Talk to your parents for the first time. Come out of your basements. It'll work out in due time. Yeah, get yourself some Panera bread. But thank you guys very much for watching. We'll catch you guys in 20 to 30 short minutes.